Hello friends, I am George McVan and welcome to JJ's Classroom. In today's lecture, I am going to discuss with you unit number 4, microscopic techniques, that is in analytical chemistry semester 3. I divide that unit into two parts. One is a short question and second part, that is the long question. In my first video, I am make that only for short questions. Then in second and third part, I am going to discuss with you the long question portion, that is also divided into technique, that is SAM, AFM and TEM and STM. Now in short question number 1, that is describe the importance of surface analysis in science and technology. Okay, you must memorize all these points. The weightage of the question is either 3 marks or sometimes in short question of 2 marks. The point number 1, that is the adsorption of a component on the surface of various materials from atmosphere, that is in environmental analysis. Second, that is in adsorption of reactive or interfering molecules on the surface of catalyst, that is the branch of catalysis. To identify the component responsible for corrosion on the surface of metal or alloy, that is in metallurgy. To identify or detect the impurities which are critically influence the bond strength and electrical properties of thin film or microchips in conducting material. To study the adhesion phenomenon for adhesives, to study the functioning and breakdown of semiconductors and microchips. So those are some applications, important applications in surface analysis, science and technology. And then next, what is a tunneling current? It is a 2 marks important short question, 2 to 3 times asked in a external paper. Give the equation to find out the magnitude of the tunneling current. The definition of the tunneling current is electrons can flow from occupied state on the negative electrode to unoccupied state on positive electrode, whereby a small voltage they do not change their energy, which is described as elastic tunneling, and the current produced is known as a tunneling current. Okay, when I discuss with you the long question part, at that time I explain what is elastic scattering. But here we can say that when the electron is moved from occupied state of negative electrode to unoccupied state of a positive electrode, between that time the current produced is known as elastic tunneling current. And the equation is IT, it is a tunneling current, that is a voltage of tunneling exponentially minus a 5 raised to 1 half into s. Now, why is AFM is more useful than STM for application in biological specimens? Okay, the reason is AFM has several advantages like the electron microscope, okay, and which provides the 3D surface profile. A simple view by AFM do not require any special treatment, and that would help in constructive sample and hence no damage of sample. So because of these points, that the sample view by AFM do not require any for special treatment prior to start the analysis, and is also helpful in a constructive sample. Okay, construction of the sample, hence there is no damage of the samples take place. And that means if you pre treatment, if there was any pre treatment of the sample before starting of the analysis, because of that kind of pre treatments, sometimes what happens, the surface of the sample is damaged. But whenever you want AFM technique for analysis, no pre treatments are required. You can analyze the sample as in the form it is found. So that is a main advantage of AFM over the scanning, tunneling, microscopic techniques. A new point, that is the applications of scanning electron microscopy. In exams, write any 2 applications of scanning electron microscopy. I will discuss here more applications. You can memorize them. Transmitted electrons of the beam pass straight through the specimen on the fluorescent screen or photographic film. That is the first application. Some electron of the beam loses a bit of their energy while passing through the specimen and get reflected a little from their original axis of the beam. Such electrons are called elastically scattered electrons. Okay, those electrons give a specific information when they enter in a detector or when they strike on the photographic film. Some electrons get backscattered instead of getting transmitted through the specimen. Sometimes what happens when a beam of energy is incident on the surface of the sample, it is transmitted. But sometimes what happens when the beam is penetrate into the specimen, it backscattered with those of the molecules present in the surface of the specimen. So those backscattered electrons also give some information regarding the it is called morphology of the sample. In some cases, the electron gets absorbed by the atoms of the specimen. Instead, low in energy electrons are emitted. These electrons are known as secondary electrons. Some electrons dislodge electrons from the atomic cell of the atoms in the specimen. Each empty space is filled by an electron from outer cell. That is called electron spectroscopy, ESCA, electron spectroscopy for chemical analysis. Okay, that is also one use of the particular SAM technique. Elastically scattered electrons without losing the energy, these electrons are deviate widely from the original path of the beam. Those are the applications of SAM. The cantilever tip used in AFM, the tip should be very sharp with a small radius of the curvature. Okay, look at in when I discuss with you the atomic force microscopic technique. What happened there? A cantilever, that means the device that can move, that is deflected up and down. Okay, and this deflection is made because of the force of attraction, the magnetic force of attraction and repulsion between the surface. For example, if there was a sample surface and if it is a cantilever tip, then this tip is move up and down like this. Okay, if there was a force of attraction, then it move towards the specimen. If there was a force of repulsion, then the tip is move away from the surface. That is the movement of the cantilever that is used in atomic force microscopy. So the tip or the cantilever, it is very sharp with small radius of curvature, high aspect ratio, so that it can trace finer details on the surface. The cantilever must be softer than the bonds between the atoms of the sample to achieve a measurable deflection. Okay, that means the deflection up and down without destructing the displacement of a surface atom, without in contact, sorry, without a contact with the surface. Okay, the cantilever tip is not in contact with the surface, but it rastering the surface like this. Okay, and there is no damage, no destruction of the surface is take place here. Commercially available cantilevers are usually made of silicon nitride or single crystal silicon. The length of such cantilevers are typically 100 to 200 micrometer. The total size of the integrated tip is on the order of 10 micrometer, and the radius of curvature at the apex can be as small as 5 to 10 nanometer. So that is all about cantilever tip using the AFM. Okay, write a brief on sample holder using electron spectrophotometry. Those are the small questions, short questions, 2 marks weightage. The sample holder, you know the function of sample holder, that means the device that can hold the sample for the analysis. Okay, so here in electron spectrophotometer, the solid samples are mounted in a fixed position as close to the proton or electron source, and the entrance rate of the spectrophotometer is possible. Okay, it is directly used. There is no sample holder required for solid samples. Okay, electron spectroscopy for chemical analysis, that is called ESCA, is used for surface analysis, and sample is used in a form of thin film or pellets, and they kept very near to the entrance of energy analyzer. We want to resolve the ejected electron from the samples. Okay, so in ESCA, particularly in ESCA, your sample, okay, the fine film means if there was a solid sample is there, then make a powder of it, then coating that powder on the surface, make a thin film of your solid material for analysis with the help of ASCA. There was a technique known as a rastering. Okay, a tip of that particular beam is rastering it move like this from in a x direction, from one direction to second direction, then it move down, then further the process is repeated, move down, repeated. That means till, okay, you can say that, see here, okay, till whole surface is like this. Okay, it's like that pattern of scanning, that pattern of scanning the surface of any solid material is known as a rastering, rastering, raster pattern. In television tubes, that means in your television, in cathode ray tube, that particular visualization of picture, the picture generation in old television set, cathode ray tubes is made with the help of these raster scanning patterns. uh, okay, the instrument is kept at very low pressure, 10 to 6 torr, in order to prevent, that is important MCQ, in order to prevent the collision between ejected electrons and get corrected kinetic energy of the electron. Okay, when I discuss with you in long question portion ASCA, the measuring parameter here is the kinetic energy of the ejected electrons. In electron spectroscopy technique, okay, unit number 3, that is the instrument measures the kinetic energy of the ejected electron from the sample, because in ASCA we use X-ray and gamma ray high energy source. Instead on the sample, electrons are ionized, okay, sorry, atoms are ionized, electrons are ejected from the sample. Those electrons enter in a detector with kinetic some kinetic energy. Okay, now before analysis is it is essential to clean the surface of sample, and that is due by some mechanical stripping like sandpaper. Okay, that means if I want to analyze the surface of a particular that mobile, then what happen, with the help of some sandpaper, okay, that is mechanical stripping. With the help of sandpaper, mechanical stripping, you can clean the surface to bake the sample. Okay, put that sample in an oven to remove the oxide impurities. Bathing of the sample, that means in a reduced atmosphere, okay, in a reduced atmosphere you can, okay, dip your sample, okay, dip your sample in a gaseous atmosphere to remove, or in a solvent system. And the depth profile analysis, sputtering method, okay, depth profile analysis, that means if I want to analyze the surface, okay, then what happened, depth profile analysis means there was a removal of the material from the particular point. Okay, from for this point you remove the sample, okay, that is called erosion process. So a cavity is formed here. Okay, that removal of the material from the surface is known as sputtering method. Okay, the point is discussed in broad discussion, long question portion. Now, how the instrumental signals are monitored in STM? Okay, STM can image the surface of conducting material. Okay, that means it is a necessary condition that your material must be in conducting nature. Conducting materials with the atomic scale resolution, it uses an atomically sharp metal tip that is brought very close to the surface. When the tip and sample are connected with the voltage source, a small tunneling current, now you know what is a tunneling current. A small tunneling current flows between the tip and the sample surface. Now this current can be measured, whose magnitude depends on the distance between the tip and the surface. As the tip is moved laterally across the surface, a feedback mechanism moves the tip up and down to maintain a constant tunneling current. Okay, rastering the tip across the surface, therefore produce a topographic map of the surface. Okay, now you know what is a rastering. Rastering, that means the scanning of the whole surface. Okay, from this direction, move down. Okay, it's like this. If I want to analyze the surface, then the tip, okay, the tip is analyze the surface like this. Okay, in that direction, then it moves in downward, then surface continue, then downward, then scanning, then downward, scanning, downward, scanning, then downward, scanning. That means whole surface is analyzed, and that pattern is known as a rastering pattern. Limitation of the STM. STM can be difficult to use effectively. There is a very specific technique that requires a lot skill and precision. STM requires very stable and clean surfaces, excellent vibrational control and sharp tips. STM use highly specialized equipment that is fragile and expensive. Okay, the operating parameters of AFM, as I told you earlier, AFM is depends on the force of attraction, force of repulsion between the tip and surface of the sample. Here some forces are given to you. AFM based on the measurement of different forces like attractive, repulsive, magnetic, electrostatic, van der Waals force between the tip and the sample surface. Imaging is accomplished by measuring the interaction force by means of the deflection of the soft cantilever while rastering the tip across the surface. Signal generation EFM is essentially based on interatomic repulsive forces which are of extreme short range nature. Long range forces are like Coulombic force between the charge dipole-dipole interaction, polarization forces, van der Waals dispersion forces, capillary forces due to adsorbate films between tip and substrate. Those are long range forces, those are short range forces. Both type of forces contribute to the total force acting on the probing tip. Only the varying repulsive interatomic force allows high resolution imaging of surface because of its extremely short range nature. Okay, since long range attractive forces pull the tip towards, okay, long range attractive forces pull the tip towards the sample surface. That means if there was a long range attractive force, then the cantilever tip is moved towards the surface like this. Okay, but they give rise to increase in the local repulsive forces which can deteriorate the experimental conditions. The interaction between tip and sample can be described by force distance curves. At large separation there is no interaction and observed force is 0. Okay, the principle of scanning electron microscopy. I already discussed that point with you, the raster scanning pattern. Here it is. The observation and characterization of the heterogeneous organic and inorganic material present on the surface in a micrometer or submicrometer scale can be examined by irradiation with a finely focused electron beam on the area to be studied in static or swept method. Static means fixed, swept means movable. Okay. In static method, the probe sample surface may be fixed and the probe is continuously moved. In swept method, the sample is fixed and the probe is it is a vice versa like technique. Okay, if the tip is fixed, then the sample is moving. If the tip is moving, then the surface is fixed. Okay, so those are the methods. It is a raster scanning across the surface of the specimen. A raster scanning is occurs similar to that of use in a cathode ray tube used in television. In this method, electron beam is scanned across the surface in a straight line. That means in x direction. As I told you, the scanning is started in x direction. That is in straight line. Okay. Then what happened? X direction and return to starting position. Okay, return to starting position. Then in the second step, the beam is shift downwards, and then further the scanning is take place. Okay, scanning is over. The beam is moved to starting position. Then downward scanning, starting position, downward scanning, starting position, downward. The process is repeated. That is a raster scanning. And the second step, the beam shift towards in y direction by a standard small increment. This process is repeated until the desired area is scanned. The signal is received above the surface in z direction and stored in computer where it converts into image. How the instrumental signals are monitored in SAM. The electron beam interact with the specimen to give, among other effects, secondary electron emission, reflected electron current, beam induced conduction, often catholuminescence. By all these ways, the signals are monitored in SAM. Each of these signals can be detected, amplified, and used to control the brightness of one of the uh, detected and one of a bank of cathode ray tube. The spot position in each of the CRT tubes is determined by the same scan generator, which affixes the position of the primary beam on the specimen surface. The last point of today's lecture, that is the differentiate the atomic force microscopy and STM technique. AFM is similar to STM. Okay, in that it can image surface at atomic scale resolution. That is a similarity. The difference between AFM and STM is AFM does not require the sample to be electrically conducting material. Okay, but in STM your material must be electrically conducting in nature. Like estimate, use an atomically sharp tip that is brought very close to the surface. The tip will feel a chemical attraction or repulsion and will move up or down or its surrounding cantilever. The key to sensitivity of AFM is in monitoring the movement of the tip. Okay, in AFM, a monitoring process is by the movement of the tip. Common means of monitoring the tip movement is to use a laser beam that is reflected or diffracted by the tip of cantilever. The up or down movement of the tip is then detected by the change in the laser beam position. While in STM, rastering the tip across the surface produces a topographic map of the surface with atomic resolution. So that's all about today's lecture. I discussed with you some short questions in microscopic technique. In next lecture, I am going to discuss with you a long questions, a long description of main four techniques. That is, main three techniques: scanning electron microscopy, scanning tunneling microscopy, and atomic force microscopy. Instrumentation, application, working, all the points. Okay, till then, have a nice day. If you like my video, then don't forget to hit the like button as well as to subscribe my channel. Thank you.